Good morning, friends. I have just a quick verse I want to run through today. It's in Deuteronomy 6, and I have loved this verse for many years. It's in Deuteronomy 6, and it says, The Lord God says, Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind, and with all your strength. These commandments that I give you today are to be upon your heart. Impress them on your children. Talk about them when you sit at home and when you walk along the road, when you lie down and when you get up. Tie them as symbols on your hands and bind them on your foreheads. Write them on the doorframes of your houses and your gates. And yesterday I was out on my prayer walk and just thinking about that verse again. And a couple of things struck me about that verse. One of them is it says, Love the Lord your God with all your heart. And then the next sentence says, These commandments that I give you today are to be upon your hearts. So I love the instruction there that first, before we impress them on our children, we have to do a heart check ourselves. Are these on our hearts? Is this what is on our mind? Are we loving? To love God with all our heart, soul, mind, and strength is a very challenging daily pursuit. And one of the things I think that can help us walk that a little bit clearer is to take that next sentence and evaluate that in our lives. These things need to be on your hearts first, mom and dad. And then when they're on our hearts, the Lord goes on and says, next, impress them on your children. And then the rest of those verses just talk about how to impress them on your children. Talk about them when you sit at home and when you walk along the road, when you lie down and when you get up. If I look at those instructions right there, I'm thinking that God is meaning to talk about them several times a day, throughout the day, as we go along in our day. We're impressing these things on our children. Of course, we cannot remember to impress them on our children if they're not first on our own hearts. So we have to do that work as a parent of making sure his commandments are on our hearts, and then we can go and we can impress them throughout the day as we go along with our children. And I just love the last part of that verse. It even says, write them. Write them and put them around your houses that they are visible. And when I look at that whole passage in Deuteronomy 6, what I see God's instruction to me as a mom, as a parent, is to saturate my home visibly and in conversation with God's commands, to bring my own heart completely into that and to embrace that and practice that every day, and then to pour that out to my children as we are going about our days. So I kind of like to think of that verse as really just kind of the verse of saturation, saturating our home lives, making sure that His commandments are on our walls, it's on our lips, it's on the radio, it's in our books. It's what we are talking about and bringing to our children. When I think about it, I think our children are in our homes very short time. For very few years, we get the opportunity to pour into them. We get the opportunity to impress on them. May we be good stewards of that time, that precious time that we have with our children. Have a good Saturday. See you next time.